Welcome into your Tuesday morning. Welcome into 13 Sunrise at 6, and welcome into a much clearer start than what we had yesterday.
Oh boy, it was crazy yesterday. You could barely see anything, and it went on for hours into the late morning.
Even 9:30, it was still thick out there. The only place that wasn't foggy was the penthouse suite. Whoever was up there, you might have had a really cool view.
You pay top dollar to get a clear view.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. But down on the ground, we had fog. This morning, we have a little bit of patchy fog. Lindsay's been tracking some of it in eastern Indiana, but Indianapolis, for the most part, is clear. Now, when you look off in the distance, you can kind of see a little bit of fog out there. If you look really close to the horizon, just some patchy fog banks out there. Nothing like yesterday morning, but it's still thick in eastern Indiana. Right now, it's 39 degrees, which is not bad to start your morning in February. A lot of 30s and 40s. Our average high, afternoon high, is 41 this time of year, so we're already pretty close to it. Good morning, Kokomo. It's 36. It's 41 in Lebanon, 44. A little bit warmer around the campus of Ball State. 40 degrees in Carmel and Fishers. Good morning in Pendleton's 40. A little bit cooler near Brownsburg and Avon. We're at 34, 37. Good morning in Richmond. Same story in Seymour and Brown County, and down to 33. A little bit cooler for us around the campus of IU. You're also watching some of the patchy fog to the east and to the south. We'll have some of that throughout the rest of this morning. But otherwise, nice quiet start. Probably mostly cloudy though today. Thicker clouds are rolling in, and there may be a spotty shower after school gets out later this evening and tonight. But coming up, we're taking a look at two systems. The first one will give us clouds and then eventually a lot of warm air tomorrow, maybe near record highs. The second one off towards the west, thunderstorms by Thursday. Coming up, we're going to talk more about severe weather chances that you need to know about. Lindsay, of course, no storms this morning, but what are you watching with traffic?
Yeah, we're mentioning some of that fog out there in east central Indiana where we've got that dense fog advisory. So I want to take you out to the maps this morning and kind of show you the difference between yesterday and today from a visibility standpoint. Looks pretty good across the metro, but as we head out east, I wanted to show you this camera from along I-70. We're actually going to take it a little farther out into where this orange zone is indicating visibility is now dropping to under a half mile. Of course, we've got more visibility concerns a little bit farther to our east. But as we watch this camera here, this is I-70 actually closer to Richmond as you're coming into Richmond. Over here in Wayne County where we got some haze on our camera. Nothing major, but just something to keep in mind if you're going to be traveling out in more rural areas in east central Indiana this morning.
A tough morning in the Beech Grove community as they are mourning the loss of a police officer killed in the line of duty. Another officer was hurt in a shooting but is expected to survive.
This is actually the procession that carried Officer Brian Elliott from Eskenazi Hospital to the funeral home late last night. Officer Elliott was from Beech Grove and had been with the city's police department for 2 years.
We have team coverage this morning with Marina Silva sharing what we've learned about Officer Elliott's life and career in his hometown.
And we begin, though, with Anna Chalker. And Anna, I know this all started as a domestic disturbance call sometime yesterday. What else can you tell us?
You're right, Julia, on that. It really just escalated quickly from that moment, and the suspect firing through the apartment complex. And that's really when they say he ran away, leading to that manhunt that lasted for hours, where residents were urged to stay inside and staying away out of the area. And while there was probably a lot of fear from the residents during that time, it's now a somber and heartbreaking morning out here as really everyone's just trying to grapple with what happened yesterday in that area in Beech Grove. And I want to walk you through the investigation and scene. Started around 6 o'clock Monday night when Officer Brian Elliott and another Beech Grove officer responded to that disturbance on Diplomat Court. The suspect, 47-year-old Kenneth Johnson, fired shots from inside an apartment. Both of those officers rushed to the hospital where Elliott later died, and that second officer is expected to be okay. Now, state police tell us Johnson ran away from the scene, prompting a nearly 5-hour manhunt. They say around 10:15 last night, a community member alerted police about someone inside a laundry room that was just near that scene, and that's where they took Johnson into custody.
And he is the only person we were looking for in this incident. I know that we put this community on edge several hours ago when we talked about that we were looking for somebody. And we hope that the community can rest a little bit easier tonight knowing that we found him.
Johnson is in the Marion County Jail this morning facing preliminary charges of attempted murder and murder. And I'll tell you, a lot of the tributes starting to come in this morning. Flags at half staff here at the police station behind me. So many agencies that were involved in this now just trying to get through today and the rest of the week. So coming up, you'll hear from some of them just about how hard that moment was, but knowing they had to push through all of this because they had a job that had to be done last night to find Johnson all those hours later and also to bring justice to both of these officers' families.
It's been a nightmare night for a lot of those officers there. Thank you for that update, Anna.
And it obviously was a scary time until officers were able to get that suspect in custody. But, you know, Beech Grove, it's just the continuing of their mourning for the hometown hero last night.
Yeah, we are hearing from leaders who say that serving the city wasn't just this officer's job, but it was his dream. Our Marina Silva is live this morning at Eskenazi Hospital right now. What are you learning or what are you hearing from his community about this officer? Good morning.
Well, good morning, ladies. I'm here at Eskenazi Hospital where both officers were taken last night, and for hours there were dozens of law enforcement here to show their support. Shortly after Officer Elliott passed away, law enforcement lined their cars up all to escort him from here at the hospital to the Marion County Coroner's Office. Officer Elliott is a graduate of Beech Grove High School. He was just 33 years old. He worked at that department for 2 years, and we're told this is all he ever wanted to do was to serve his hometown. Now, before that, he was employed at the Marion County Sheriff's Office, where he was there for 6 years. Beech Grove Police Chief Michael Maurice told us all Officer Elliott ever wanted to be was that Beech Grove police officer.
This is devastating loss for our department and for our city. Our officers put on their uniform every day and today to serve the community and protect this community.
Officer Elliott is survived by his wife. Now, tributes are pouring in on social media from city and state leaders, as well as some of the people who knew him, all calling him a hero. As for that other officer who is still here recovering at Eskenazi Hospital, his name has not been released, but we are told that he is expected to make a full recovery. Ladies, back to you.
All right, thank you, Marina, for that update.
Now, the shooting comes nearly 26 years after the Beech Grove Police Department also lost another officer, Officer Bill Toney.
Yeah, Toney was shot and killed September 29th of 2000 while chasing down suspects who had run from a stolen van. One of those suspects, Benjamin Ritchie, shot Toney 5 times. Ritchie was executed by lethal injection last May, which was the state's second execution in 15 years.
Well, we've been following this story all morning in the last 24 hours. We'll bring you any breaking developments during this broadcast and also when we continue to stream later this morning on WTHR+. And some breaking news to share with you this morning. Civil rights icon and former presidential candidate Reverend Jesse Jackson has died.
His family confirmed his death in a statement saying that he died peacefully, surrounded by his loved ones. An immediate cause of death wasn't shared. We know he lived with Parkinson's disease for nearly a decade and was admitted to the hospital in November for complications.
Jackson was born in South Carolina and rose to prominence through his work during the civil rights era. And he marched with other civil rights activists like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He also ran for the Democratic presidential nomination in both 1984 and 1988. Jesse Jackson was 84 years old.
Well, in the weeks since the disappearance and death of Fisher's teen Haley Busby, the community has showed unwavering support for her family. Yesterday, the restaurant where the 17-year-old worked hosted a fundraiser for her family, with staff and customers there wearing pink and packing the Kitchen on Main in Fortville. The store's owner says that 20% of the money that they earned yesterday is going towards Haley's family. Well, IMPD this morning is addressing downtown crime after 6 people were hospitalized in a mass overdose.
Now, this is something we've been following for over a week now. It happened last week around Luger Plaza, which is a pretty familiar place to officers since it's right across from their office. In the 5 days since that overdose, police say they've gotten a call to the same 1 block stretch of Washington Street nearly 24 times. Police have arrested 4 people. That happened on Friday for smoking and dealing spice on the plaza. You can see it there in the baggies in this picture on the left.
And the numbers are eye-opening when you look back even just a few years ago. Since 2021, the number of incidents around Lugar Plaza and this transit center is nearly 2,000 calls.
Transit is a great way to get people around, but it also brings people to a certain location. Also, it's a public space. We want people to gather in a public space, but we want them to do it in a responsible and lawful manner.
Well, that is Shane Foley, who heads the department in this area. And as a whole, he says that downtown is the safest part of the city and accounts for only about 5% of all crime in Indianapolis.
It is 6:11. It's a quiet start. Cloudy skies are moving in, but at least we're dry. We may not stay completely dry, though. Later tonight, a few showers may pass by, but then strong thunderstorms are possible Thursday. We'll talk about the timeline.